Hey, welcome back to Life on the Wrist. Hope you're doing well. Today I thought we would talk about the Rolex Baselworld 2019 releases. I'm going to discuss all the watches that have been released by Rolex at Baselworld 2019. But before we get into that, I wanted to remind you guys that we are doing a watch giveaway. It's the Swatch System 51 Hodinkee limited edition. I'll put a link in the description to the giveaway. It's really simple to enter. We're going to do the drawing at the beginning of next month, around the 4th or the 5th, whatever that Monday is. So head over to that video in order to enter. It's really simple. You're just gonna do a bunch of stuff on our social media pages and then you're entered. So head over to that video if you want to enter. And yeah, so back to the point of this video, we're gonna talk about all the releases from Rolex and what we think about each of the releases. So the first release is the Rolex GMT Master 2. I've mentioned this in a previous video of my top 5 favorite watches that from Baselworld 2019 that have been released. This GMT Master 2 is in white gold, has a white gold case, similar aesthetics to the last version, comes on an oyster bracelet, but the real attraction to this watch is the fact that it has a meteorite dial. This is such a cool thing that Rolex came out with. I think I really like it a lot because it's so different and not really exactly what Rolex would come out with. They stick very tightly to, you know, the Submariner case, Submariner designs. Their date just don't really change very much, but this is really different. It's something you could add to a collection and be completely different than someone who has a GMT Master 2, just the regular version. It's almost like buying a vintage GMT Master 2, which obviously has some patina, so it's going to be different than the regular GMT Master 2. This is a really cool way to differentiate your collection from someone else, and I think that's why I like it so much. The next is a Rolex Yachtmaster. It's 42 millimeter case. It has a white gold. It's a white gold case, but I think the really cool thing about it is the fact that it has a matte black ceramic bezel. It comes on a rubber strap, and I think this watch really truly blurs the lines between a sports watch and a luxury watch. You know, the Yachtmaster obviously has this oyster case. It's very like, okay, let's go do something active, but then it's in a white gold case. So a lot of watch companies have been doing this recently, kind of blurring the lines between sports and luxury watches, which is really cool, I think. I think it shows that you don't have to purely use the watches nowadays for the purpose that they're made of. You can really kind of blur the lines between the two of them. The next is a Rolex Sea Dweller that came out. It's two-tone steel and yellow gold, 18 karat yellow gold. This is the first yellow gold Sea Dweller, or first time yellow gold has been used in a Sea Dweller. For some reason, Rolex and Tudor, obviously, you know, very similar, but it seems like two-tone has become very popular. It's not really something that I like very much. Two-tone can work, but I don't think it really works on the Sea Dweller. Again, it's kind of just an average watch that came out. They decided to mix up the type of materials that they're going to use for the case. So it's just a Sea Dweller in the end. The next is a GMT Master 2. It has the blue-black bezel, the ceramic bezel, and it's a steel case. Has a new Jubilee bracelet where the Jubilee bracelet actually kind of enters the lugs and doesn't really, there isn't a stark differentiation between the bracelet in the lugs versus the rest of the bracelet. It has the new 3285 in-house movement from Rolex. It's a cool watch. That's really all I can say about it. I think that's kind of a common theme with Rolex now, at least for their Baselworld 2019 releases. It's another watch that they released. There was a really cool day-date 36 millimeter watch that came out. It has a really cool green bezel, 18 karat. You can get it in 18 karat yellow gold, 18 karat white gold, or ever rose gold case. And it has a diamond. It has diamond set hour markers. It has their new 3255 in-house movement. I think this is really cool because it's kind of different. You don't really see Rolex experimenting with their colors as much as they did with this version of it. Having that almost like, you know, St. Patrick's Day green is really different from what they normally release. This was a cool watch. I actually thought this got me interested in what they released. Do I think it's gonna sell? It'll be interesting to see. I certainly would buy it. I think it's really cool. I think it's kind of almost harping on the vintage day dates that they had made that were sold. That there was I believe it was a Phillips auction where they did a whole auction just based on day dates. I think it was in 2015. I think it's really cool that in a way they're kind of connecting the two, kind of bringing the history of Rolex and creating something modern with it. So I guess that was a I'll give a hat tip to Rolex for that one, because I think that's really cool watch that they released. There's also some Datejust models, that 36mm models that were released. There's one with like a space gray dial. It has their new 3235 movement in it, and there was also a Datejust 31mm version for ladies to wear. But all in all, if I was to sum up Rolex's releases for Baselworld 2019, it would kind of just be like it was another Baselworld for them. There wasn't anything that really stood out that really got me excited about, you know, this next upcoming year. And I saw a very interesting interview of Ben Clymer where he said that he can see why they did it from a business perspective, because it's so hard to get a hold, as a consumer, it's extremely hard to get a hold of the watches that everyone wants to get, because Rolex is just not manufacturing them at the rate in which the demand is. So obviously demand's a little bit higher than supply. And I don't think they wanted to come out with something massive this year, which would get everyone excited and then cause more problems for them on the business side of things. So in a way, it was a good business decision, but it was an average year for Rolex. I'll give them a 6 because I really like the day date, but I'll give them a 6 out of 10 for the releases of Baselworld 2019. If you enjoyed that video and if you enjoyed this video and you made it this far, if you wouldn't mind subscribing and liking this video, it really would help us out. And I hope you guys have a nice rest of your day.